Fellow Falcoholics, what is up? Welcome to episode 183 of the Falcoholic Live. I am your host, Kevin Knight at Falcoholic Kevin, joined by my wonderful guest this evening. You know him, Eric Robinson at _Eric_Robinson. Eric, how are we doing tonight?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not
Seemed
too shabby. Yeah, you know.
We're what, 29 days out?
Yeah, I think so. It's almost exactly a month out now.
Yeah.
So we're almost there, folks. To the NFL draft, we're also going to be joined right now by our other guest this evening. He is Aaron Freeman at Falc Fans. Aaron, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Had to fight some people. Terry Fontenot online.
They took you really seriously. I was enjoying that, honestly.
I saw you breaking out the nunchucks there a little bit.
It was like, I don't know. I don't know how you could have made it more obvious that it was a joke. I think you were trying like really, really hard to make it clear. You were like, oh yeah, Fontenot's, or like, Ryan Pace's assistant and stuff like it was really far, but Twitter is Twitter, and people just they can't handle the takes. The takes are too hot. So
look, I everybody who knows me on Twitter knows I like to be snarky. You either enjoy it or you don't. But I always enjoy the new people that haven't gotten that yet and having a little bit of fun with them.
Right. Welcome in new people, to the baptism by fire that is Aaron's Twitter personality. It's an acquired taste, I think, but I think people learn to appreciate it over time. But and then I guess also we'll be joined by one more tonight. He is Adnan Ikic at Say Which Way to complete our quartet this evening. Adnan, how you doing?
I'm fashionably late.
That's okay. It was really perfect actually, because Eric was here perfectly on time. So I introduced Eric, and then Aaron was next. He came in like right as I finished Eric's intro, and then right as I finished Aaron's intro, you showed up so I could intro you. So really, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, we planned it all out
Eric,
beforehand.
Yeah. So it was very fortuitous timing by everyone here. So thanks, guys, for coming on. Obviously, the headline tonight will be our live mock draft, which has been one of our most popular show formats over the years. So we're going to sneak one here before the end of March. We'll also probably do at least one more before the draft, maybe two, just because they're fun. We'll also talk a little bit about the Falcons' recent signings, mostly Auden Tate, the wide receiver, seems to be the biggest one, and then we'll probably close out with even more draft takes, because I have some things to say about Kyle Hamilton. I've seen enough Kyle Hamilton slander on the timeline. It's time for us to have a conversation about that. So
that guy stinks.
Yeah, definitely is not a top 7 player whatsoever.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Oh, are we pushing this narrative for him to fall to 8?
Yeah, I mean,
you see that 4.740?
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah, undraftable now, Undraftable in the top 7. Yeah.
I have an inside source that said it was actually a 4.840. They were just being generous.
I heard it was a 69,
Glad you pointed out that it was per source. I'm glad you did that.
Per source. I watched the Pro Day live and timed it with my stopwatch. So that's my source. Yeah.
Sources have been a big topic in Falcons Twitter the past month.
That's true. It's a very, very contentious topic, but we're not gonna dwell on that. We'll save that for the deep off-season pod. But let's kick it off with discussion of Auden Tate, because I think that's actually a pretty good signing. Obviously, not a gigantic needle mover, but in terms of like established wide receivers on the roster, you have to think Auden Tate's sort of, if not wide receiver 1 right now, at least wide receiver 1B with Zacchaeus in terms of the guys that have really played a major role. So let's start off talking about Tate and what he brings. Eric, since you were here first, I'll let you take the floor first. What do you think about the Auden Tate signing? What do you see sort of as his ideal role in the offense?
Well, I mean, he definitely brings size. That's for sure. 6'5", close to 230. And that's something that the Falcons haven't really had, especially this past season. They didn't really, outside of having Kyle Pitts lined out wide, they really didn't have that type of receiving threat that can be able to be physical with other DBs. And he can. I think he has a ceiling of a wide receiver too, if he's able to stay healthy. You go back to his I believe it was his 2020 season in Cincy. We had 40 catches, 4 touchdowns. I think he averaged close to 15 yards per catch. And that, of course, that was with a rookie Joe Burrow. He was able to carve a pretty nice role in that offense. I don't think he's even started double-digit games in this entire career. Injuries has really been the story for him. So a lot of it depends on if he's able to stay healthy and give him 12, 13, 14, games, and we'll see what he can do with that. But the size and the physicality is what pops off. The guy catches everything.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, and that's his game because
he doesn't drop anything. Mm-hmm. So those are the 2 attributes I would give him right now: size and really good hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's sort of the big one. Because, in terms of athletic profile, I think Tate was sort of most well known for running that 4.68 at the combine, and like everyone was like, oh, he's undraftable and all this. And it did cause him to fall to the 7th round. I think he was always sort of a late day 2 guy at best, but like, even though he ran, slow, didn't really test well in any measurable other than size, he's like 6'5", 230. So this is almost a tight end at this point.
You guys know who else ran a 4.86 at the their pro day? Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, we got to. So this is where the narrative's coming from. I knew it was somebody around here.
I need you to weigh in every 5 minutes. I down with another one of those.
We got to really amplify this, guys.
You got to get that thing rolling by that, so that way when draft night comes, it's for sure like we're not going to draft him until he falls.
Yes. You see, if like we cite each other as sources, it's all good, right? Yeah. But I like Auden Tate. I think he's a good player. He does have that one really good season where he actually did just barely get to double-digit starts. He had 10 starts in 2019. Played in 12 total games. As Eric said, 40 receptions, 575 yards, 14.5 yards per reception, which is pretty good for a guy that runs a 4.68, and a touchdown. Hasn't really come close to that in any of the other years. Injuries have been a factor. Also, ceding playing time to the Bengals starting trio, which not really a knock on Tate because their starting trio is Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and last but not least, Jamar Chase. So wasn't really a lot of snaps to go around for Tate in that receiving core, but he's also struggled to stay healthy. So, did you have something else you wanted to add?
Well, I wanted to add because I talked to a Bengals writer, but he was also taken by a previous regime.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't help his cause as well. So
yeah. All right, Aaron, you were here next, so you get the next shot. What do you think about the Auden Tate signing?
Yeah, I mean, it fits in with the mold of, you get an X receiver, right? He was a backup to AJ Green there as the X. Then AJ Green missed that 2019 season. He got expanded opportunities to play, was productive, as Eric pointed out. Not going to wow you with his production that season, but certainly a guy that was a contributor to that roster. And then the last couple of years with Joe Burrow coming into town and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, again, relegated to being that backup X wide receiver. And of course, if you have AJ Green and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, like there's no reason to play a guy, their backups, except for the handful of times they need a breather. So that's one of the reasons why when you look at Auden Tate's production in those 3 other years that he was in Cincinnati, it's pretty non-existent, but he fits the mold of, what people have been talking about this offseason and last offseason of these sort of young, unproven guys that, Atlanta doesn't offer more money than other teams. They certainly are not offering, being a contender, which we know Chandler Jones was allegedly seeking, and the Falcons weren't going to give you that, but they do give you opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what Fabian Moreau, we call it the Fabian strategy if you want to be a history buff or whatever the case may be. But, that's what we had with Fabian Moreau last year, where he was kind of a backup in Washington, deserved, potential opportunities as a starter for relatively cheap. And you got pretty solid production from him at least, relative to him being a competent NFL starting cornerback for the price that he's.
Yeah, Patterson, another good
Cordero
example.
Patterson too.
Yeah, so like this fits in with that sort of mold that the Falcons have been having some success finding. So I think this move makes a ton of sense. You get a guy that can come in and be that X wide receiver, which was sorely missing from the Falcons offense last year after the Julio Jones trade. And you don't have to, as Eric said, rely on Kyle Pitts to have to be that guy, and you can make him more of a true tight end this upcoming season. It also gives you the flexibility that you don't have to reach on an X in this upcoming draft. You don't, no one's going to sit here and say that, drafting a Christian Watson or George Pickens is a bad move, but now you don't necessarily have to feel compelled to come away with one of those guys at the top of the draft where they're probably all going to get picked in the top 100, and you can go in another direction at that wide receiver position, or you could potentially wait on a guy at the wide receiver position because Auden Tate can come in and be that sort of contested catch guy and wing on some of these back shoulder throws, which is where he thrived in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is sort of really fleshing out the strategy that Fontenot has talked about, which is that he wants to fill needs in free agency, or at least address them in some small way, so that when it comes to the draft, they can sort of be a little bit more flexible, not necessarily have to reach on guys. So now it's like you've got something resembling a low-level NFL wide receiving core now, as opposed to before Auden Tate got here, it was like, okay, what is this? Like, what is this depth chart? Is this for real? Like, are we going into the draft with this? And I think the other guy that they're visiting with, Demir Byrd, makes sense too, as like a field stretcher. So that way it gives them, a speed guy. I think Byrd was rumored to run in the 4.2s at his pro day or something like that. So that obviously gives a speed element. So if you can get Tate, you can get Byrd, you have Zacchaeus, maybe you can hope for like one of Trammell or Frank Darby to sort of turn into something. I don't know if we have any Catterell Hodge stands here. I don't know too much about him, but we're if they add a couple guys in the draft, we're getting there. We're getting closer to something resembling a real NFL wide receiver room. So, Adnan, what do you think about the Tate signing? And I guess also, I mentioned Byrd. Are you interested in them potentially finalizing that deal as well?
Well, you mentioned that Byrd ran your 4.240. Do you know who didn't run close to a 4.240? It was Kyle Hamilton.
Wow.
Yeah, sources are talking.
People are talking. Yeah.
The streets are talking right now. No, it's Auden Tate. It's a solid signing. I mean, he's 25. A lot of injury woes. It's a low risk signing where you gave him pretty much base salary of $900,000, something really tiny like that. You needed a wide receiver. He's a big-bodied guy. Arthur Smith prefers his wide receivers to be, bigger dudes who can make those contested catches. So Auden Tate definitely fits that mold. I don't get, like, people are always so mad no matter what the team does. It's like, how can you be mad at this signing?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what do the Falcons really have to lose with this signing? It's a low risk, moderate reward, which is exactly like Aaron was talking about, which is what they did with Fabian Moreau, which is what they did with Cordero Patterson. Cordero ended up being a high reward guy because you got a lot out of him. And Moreau, you could possibly even get your 4th round comp pick back if he signs for $3 million or more. But yeah, Demir Byrd, also solid player. When's the last time the Falcons had a player as fast as that? Maybe Taylor Gabriel, but
Jeff Badette or last camp or whatever. I think he ran in the 4.2s as well, but no, I don't. He got hurt. Like, I was like excited to see him at camp, but I'm pretty sure he got hurt before he even like started playing in camp.
Got a little bit of breaking news here.
I saw. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you. Yeah.
Bruce Arians is retiring and
Yes.
moving to the front office for the Bucs.
Yes. Todd Bowles will be taking over as head coach, apparently. So, just when we thought we were going to get to the mock draft, we got some breaking news here. Obviously,
The division is opening up for the Falcons right now. Is what
Yes. So you're telling me there's a chance, Adnan. I loved it when I really made a lot of people mad with that tweet about the Falcons having the second best quarterback in the NFC South still, even after Ryan left. So there's a lot of Saints fans like, oh no, like Jameis is like, thanks guys, you're really playing into exactly what you're really doing exactly what I wanted you to do. So thank you for playing along. But yeah, Bruce Arians out. Into the front office, Todd Bowles taking over. Obviously, that's big news for the Bucs. I wonder how much things change there. Maybe they don't change much at all. But yeah,
press conferences won't be as good.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's the biggest impact of this whole thing.
I'm curious to why the timing.
Yeah, it is odd.
You gotta imagine he's had some health problems, right? You
Yes.
gotta imagine it's probably related to that, right?
He has.
So.
But have we heard anything about his health over the past couple of years? I mean, I
He left the owners' meetings with an illness, I believe.
Okay.
They said it was just a stomach bug, but I don't know. Maybe that was sort of like the last straw, and he was just like, all right, I'm done with this. Maybe somebody asked him a really bad question at the owners' meetings, and he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Going to the front office is probably not the best move then if you don't want to answer questions.
Right, that's the thing. Okay.
Maybe it's an advisor role.
I imagine, my guess is, because he's had some heart issues, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine it's probably like a stress thing. You go to the front office, you work less hours, you do. It's just you kind of got to ease in at some point, and I guess they probably figured now is the time because they've been talking about grooming Byron Leftwich, giving Todd Bowles a chance. So this is not like completely out of it's surprising because it happened now as opposed to a month ago. But like
right.
it never sounded like Bruce Arians was ever intending to be there long term. He was just they got the Super Bowl. It was kind of surprising. I think a lot of people thought it was a little surprising that he didn't retire last year.
Yeah.
Well, I figured I agree with you. I figured he'll take one more swing with Brady coming out of retirement. So that's why the timing was like, okay, this, I'm pretty sure he played a considerable part in getting Brady back. And now that Brady's back in the fold, it's all right, my time is up here. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Todd Bowles.
Right.
It didn't really work out with the Jets. He didn't really get a great deal over there with their, front office problems, their inability to make picks. But yeah, it's talk about a hell of a second opportunity to now be coaching an immediate contender. So he was overdue for a second chance in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, Bowles definitely gonna like the look of this roster a lot better than that Jets roster, that's for sure. So, so I guess we'll see what happens there. We'll keep monitoring that, but for the most part, it doesn't really change the outlook of the Bucs at all, I don't think. I mean, I obviously the loss of Bruce Arians matters, but
Leftwich was calling plays on offense. Bowles obviously going to continue to probably call plays on defense. So, again, press conferences are changing, but other day-to-day stuff is probably not going to change.
One less voice in the meetings. I would say that's probably it.
Yeah, his leadership and sort of experience would probably be missed a little bit, I'm sure, but hard to quantify. Yeah.
They'll probably save a little bit in cap space because they will have a smaller Kango budget moving forward. So
that's a big one. Yeah.
But they still gotta keep the old golf cart. They gotta roll those out for sure. So,
place of honor for that golf cart.
Right. That's gonna take up someone's signing bonus.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead. I don't think there were any other major free agent signings in the last week that I missed. I think sort of Auden Tate was the main one. I know they've had a lot of visits. We talked about Bird. They visited with Rashaan Evans, I think, today or yesterday, the linebacker. So that one could be interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if they make that move because, again, it's like they have a pretty big hole at linebacker unless you're super enthused about Michael Walker starting there, which maybe you are. But, they didn't bring back Brandon Copeland yet, so adding another vet like Rashaan Evans there could, again, sort of solidify that position on paper to where you don't have to reach on a linebacker. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But, let's transition over towards some mock draft talk. We'll get this thing started here soon. Yeah, before we jump into this, I want to, establish ground rules. So first of all, are we going to consider trades or not for this mock? I wanted to get the feel of the room before we dive in. The trades will take longer because we'll have to talk about them, but if we don't do the trades this time, we can always do that as like another one later too. But what do you guys think about trades?
Have trades been done at least once?
We haven't done any mock draft yet. So this is the inaugural. This is the edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to do one where trades is.
We'll do at least one with trades.
But we also need to do one where we don't do trades.
Yeah. So we could either do that this time or next time. Maybe there'll be a third one too. We might do one like right before the draft or something. But
I don't have a strong preference.
Okay. Does anybody have a strong preference? Maybe it depends on the trade offers we get.
You got a coin? Flip a coin here.
I got a coin somewhere, I'm sure. But
do a coin toss.
Someone asks you, are you hungry? And you're like, I can eat,
Yeah.
or not.
I can take a trade,
Yeah.
Well, I would say we'll consider the offers we get at 8, and if we like them, we'll do trades. And if not, we won't do trades.
I like this coin idea. Last time the Falcons had a coin involved with the draft, they got Matt Ryan.
That's true. So,
but the NFL doesn't have a great recent history when it comes to coins. And
the coin. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But anyway, sure, we can consider it.
Well, we will consider it. We're going to do all 7 rounds, which for the Falcons is just 6, mercifully. A big shout out to Fontenot for getting rid of those 7th round picks. That really helps us out on draft night.
Every time I do a draft simulator, I always get rid of
rid of those 7s. Yeah.
Pick number 213 or whatever. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
That's where we're getting our punter, man. You got to keep that pick.
You got to keep it. That's for Matt Ariza. That's his bookmarked. I loved how angry people were with your like BPA mocks where Ariza kept coming to the Falcons at like pick 200. It's like, come on, man. Like, do you really have a problem with any pick at 200? Like, they could take a long snapper there. I don't care. It's pick 200. Like, but people have like just have big takes about every single pick. That late 6th is sacred. Okay, you can't miss that pick. So
you morons, how can you get pick 200 wrong?
All right, let me pull this up. Okay, I think we're all set, guys. We'll be using Draft Network's mock draft machine. I have premium, so it will deliver us trade offers if they come in. I know, big time. Yeah. Eventually, I'm going to get it expensed from the site, but one thing at a time. I need it for the show, so it's necessary. It's very necessary. It's not just for fun, I promise. I used it for at least like 3 or 4 articles, so I think we can justify it at this point. But all right, so obviously you guys know Jacksonville has the first pick, then it goes Detroit, Houston, New York, Jets, then Giants at 5, Panthers 6, Giants at 7. I don't believe we want to trade up, correct? We're not trading up to 1 from Malik Willis. No?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, we're not moving up for Kenny Pickett like that one mock draft said we would.
Well,
Well, now I'm interested in making trades now if that's on the table.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I know that you mentioned Pitt. Got to be careful. So yeah.
Hey, we could have an early night trade all of our picks, move up for Pickett, and just get out of the show early.
That's brilliant. No, actually, let's do that. Yeah. Would they even accept that offer?
Maybe Terry Fontenot decides he doesn't want a full draft night. Maybe he wants to work a half day that night.
He should pull a Mike Ditka. Trade all the picks for Aiden Hutchinson
and ride out the cigar. Absolutely, call it a night.
Hey, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got Aiden Hutchinson. So that's all right. So we're gonna start this thing up, and it'll roll up until our pick. We'll probably get some trade offers. So if you hear a phone sound, on the show, that's us getting a call, metaphorical call from another team here. So let's kick it off. Kyle Hamilton win it too, so the dream dies early.
I guess my narrative building didn't work.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Lions were listening, unfortunately. All right. So we did get 3 trade offers. So I'll go through them real quick. First one's from the Jets. They're offering 10, 35, which is their second rounder, and then a 4th for 8 and 43 of ours. I'm not really interested in giving up 43, so big pass. Let's see. Everybody wants 43. This is weak, man.
Pass.
Yeah. We got Seahawks want to trade up 1 spot. We swap seconds and firsts, and then we get their 4th 109 as well. That's like somewhat interesting. So we get 9 and 40 and 109, and they get 8 and 43. So we like move up slightly in the second, and then we get a 4th.
And we drop 1 spot and just pick up a 4th, basically.
Yeah, and we swap seconds, and which is earlier. We get an earlier second. So that was like somewhat intriguing, but yeah.
I'd be happy if the Falcons did that one. And
yeah, it's sort of like a weird little trade.
No, Aaron?
What?
You said no?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to trade back, I want to get like a day 2 pick out of it, you know?
Right. It's like sort of like maybe we should just stick to no trades at that point, you know, for such a minor thing. But
I'm fine with that.
4th is fine, but like,
yeah, it doesn't like really move the needle. Yeah. All right, we're gonna pass. This will be the no trade version, unless we get some great offer later in the draft, but probably unlikely. All right, so the top 7, I'll read off real quick. Aiden Hutchinson went number 1, Kyle Hamilton 2 to the Lions, Evan Neal to the Texans at 3, Kayvon Thibodeau to the Jets at 4, Ike Mekwanu at 5 to the Giants. Then Charles Cross to the Panthers at 6, and then Trayvon Walker at 7 to the Giants. So we got, obviously, Malik Willis, the top quarterback, still there. Jermaine Johnson, still there. Trevor Penning at tackle. We got our pick of all the corners. Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Davis, Drake London. That's getting a little bit further down the board. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's probably like just decide if do you want Jermaine Johnson or do you want Malik Willis? That's really what it comes down to for me. But I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions. We'll kind of go around the room here because this is the most important pick. So, Eric, why don't you tell me your sort of thought process and who you're thinking here? It's tough. It's a tough call. There's some good players left.
If I think the team would lean towards Willis in this situation, I will be fine with either one. I'll put it to you this way. I will understand which direction they go there.
Yeah.
I think the team would probably pull the trigger on Malik and call it a day.
Yeah, it's tough because I think they wouldn't trade up for Malik. I think they'd consider it a lot more if he fell to them. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to pass on Johnson though. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm stuck between as well. Aaron, what are your thoughts on who's available here?
Is Sauce still on the board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no corners have come off yet.
Okay. I mean, I would want to take the best defensive player available. Mm-hmm. And that would presumably be Jermaine Johnson or Sauce Gardner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because they have Stingley as the highest ranked player left, but I don't like Stingley like that. Like I would have Sauce ahead of Stingley at this point. So
I mean, Casey Hayward kind of takes the pressure off of you to go corner here.
Yeah, but, that's what I was thinking.
Hayward can play in the slot, so like you can find a way to get him, Sauce, and Terrell on the field at the same time. Obviously, that marginalizes Isaiah Oliver. So from like a need standpoint, I would lean Jermaine Johnson because you're not trying to play musical chairs, but I certainly think Sauce is probably the better overall prospect for me. Like, I mean, I get Malik Willis, but like I just feel like taking a quarterback this high is too rich for my blood.
Yeah, like if they're gonna do it, it needs to be Willis, but it's just like it is hard to get behind in this class, so I totally understand that angle. Yeah, it's a tough call.
Garber is also my BPA right now.
Yeah.
I would lean that just because I mean, no offense to the Falcons, I don't think that they're really gonna, be competing this year. I don't think that the Falcons are in a stage where you're going purely for need and you're trying to fit uh, a square into a square peg, so to speak. You just need everything right now. And I would lean toward going purely BPA with this pick for the Falcons in real life.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, I'd probably either go Johnson or Willis. I think that's what Eric was saying too, and then I think Aaron, you were saying either Johnson or Sauce, and then Adnan, are you saying Johnson or Sauce as well?
Yeah, more so leaning Sauce Gardner.
Okay. So if we calculate all those, the one player that we all have
right
is Jermaine Johnson. So in the effort of being collaborative, it's probably Jermaine Johnson at that point, since I think we all would be comfortable with taking him. I think we all have it stacked a little bit differently. But yeah, I think, and that makes, I love Jermaine Johnson. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he'll be a day one impact starter. And obviously he sort of gives you finally that, hopefully that piece on the defensive line that you've really desperately needed for a while. So yeah, we all okay with Jermaine Johnson there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And for the record, I don't think that there's really much the Falcons could do to really, make me mad with wherever they go right now.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go best defensive player. If they want to go Willis, the only thing that I really wouldn't be able to justify is trading up for Kenny Pickett, for example.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't want to trade up at all. I think they should just sort of stay put or trade back. So, yeah. All right, well, let's go with Jermaine Johnson here. Get that pass rusher, and we will see how the rest of the first round plays out and see what it looks like at 43. So while the simulator's running, guys, good time for me to remind you to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Those metrics all help us out. Thank you so much, everyone who already has done that. Our next patron Q&A session is going to be tomorrow, Thursday night at 6 p.m. We're going to have Dave Choate joining us, possibly some of these guys as well. We'll see who's available. And then we will also be answering your questions, all that good stuff. The link to that is patreon.com/Falcoholic Live. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to go to the link in the show description. Like we just had Jason Gaines drop $2. Thank you so much, Jason. Saying, why is Aaron Freeman premiering today's Locked On Falcons during a Falcoholic live stream? Not the best timing, LOL. Yeah, way to go, Aaron. You're just either burying yourself or burying us. Neither way is good. So
yeah, if only it was possible for people to watch two things on YouTube. You
can only watch one show.
Yeah,
we've already discussed this. That's why we're feuding all the time. That's why you never come on here. So all right. Okay, so thank you, Jason, for that, by the way. All right, so it's pick 31. The Bengals are offering us a trade up. All they want is pick 74 and a 2022 second. So we could potentially move a pick that we don't even have to care about because we're not doing the 2023 second, excuse me. We don't even have to care about it because we're not mocking 2023. So this is like playing with house money. So if there was
back to the first,
right, yeah. So let me see who's on the board here so we can consider this.
Giving up a third this year and a second next year.
Yeah, that seems really cheap.
Well,
I mean, it is pick 31, but
if that actually happened, I would be all for that.
I would be too. Yeah.
I mean, that seems kind of like cheap, Like that doesn't seem like great compensation.
Only because of what's being asked, not the fact that they need to trade back into the first.
Right.
But a team is willing to let them slide 12 slots.
No, it's like what is it, like 40 slots because it's a 2023 second they're asking for?
But they're going from 43 What did they ask in return? No, they asked for 74.
They're not even asking for 43. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird.
Oh yeah, you should have clicked accept already.
Well, that's why I'm like considering not doing it, because I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like they would not actually make this trade. Like the Falcons definitely would, like for sure. But I think Cincinnati might be drunk.
Yeah,
let's find out. Let's find out who's on the board. Hey, Kenny Pickett's still here.
Yeah.
No, that's
Is Desmond Ritter there?
Who? Yes, Ritter's there. Daxton Hill, Traylon Burks, Louis Cine, Perry and Winfrey, N'Kobe Dean.
Still there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they were to actually trade up here, it would probably be for a quarterback.
Would it?
I think so.
Me personally, I think Ritter would still be there at 43. So I think if you're coming back into the first right now, BPA across the board. Well, not a quarterback, anything but a quarterback.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean,
I'm open to almost anything that's not a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I like the trade. I just think we should probably not take it, because I feel like there's no way that would actually go through. Yeah, like I feel like they would need at least 43. Maybe if it was like 43 and one of our later third or something, that would probably be fair.
I'm down to keep this as real as possible.
Yeah. Thank you, Cincinnati, but we're gonna save you from yourselves, and not not give you that crazy trade. So we'll see who ends up falling to 43 here.
Then reports come out on Twitter the next night that the Falcons rejected this trade.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. All right. So we did see Ritter go to the Seahawks at 40.
We should take that trade with Seattle.
We should have taken that Seattle trade. Yep, because that's the pick they ended up spending on Ritter. That's funny. So in terms of players available right here, Matt Corral's the top quarterback according to them. Sam Howell's still there, along with the usual suspects. Carson Strong's there too. It's Matt Corral, Sam Howell, Carson Strong are the three quarterbacks left. Quay Walker and Christian Harris, Tyler Smith of Tulsa, Kenneth Walker, DeMarvin Leal, Jalen Petrie, Tariq Woolen, Daniel Falele, the offensive tackle, is still there.
Top receiver right now.
Let's see. George Pickens, John Mechie, Calvin Austin are all there. Yeah, the wide receivers ended up going. Christian Watson went at 42. Big rip. That's tough, man. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know about you guys. I'm good with taking Pickens and waiting to see if a guy like Carson Strong lands at 58.
Yeah, I can wait on a quarterback. Like if Ritter was here, I would feel like this is a good spot to get him.
Yes. Yeah.
But like the other guys, I can wait to see if they're still there at 58 or 74 or whatever the case may be. Pickens makes sense to me. Christian Harris probably was the other person that stood out to me as a potential option. You can sort of get that middle linebacker, and whatever you want to do with Deion Jones, you can do it.
Chad Muma's there too. Yeah.
Any interior defensive lineman there?
DeMarvin Leal. Travis Jones, obviously. Then obviously it thins out pretty quick after those guys. Zachary Carter's still there too, Fidarian Mathis. But
so you said Pickens, Mechie, and who else?
Calvin Austin, David Bell, Jalen Tolbert. Obviously Wandale, Kyle Phillips, those guys are still out there too, Alec Pierce. But I mean, it's possible we could double dip. Like if we get Pickens here, we could come back in a couple picks and see if somebody like a Calvin Austin or Wandale or another like speedier guy is there to sort of flesh that out, or Alec Pierce.
Wide receivers, I'd be fine with Pickens here, but
want that long-term X. Pickens is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with Pickens.
I know you don't love him, Aaron. I know you don't love Pickens.
Does Aaron love any prospects?
My thing with Pickens is I feel like he has been hyped as this guy that was like a top 15 pick and then got hurt. And I feel like this is where he always should have been valued as like a early to mid second round talent. That's where I have him at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but did
so-
you see that catch against Alabama in the SEC title game?
The only one.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
So, but you think this is good value for him here?
Yeah. I think this is where you want to get Pickens.
This is appropriate. Yeah.
My thing is just like, when people are like, oh, he should be a first round pick and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't like him that much.
If healthy, I think he would have been.
He probably could have snuck into the back end. Yeah.
I would have felt like, like a couple other wide receivers in this draft class that they're probably not as good as they've been hyped to be. But again, it's the difference between ranking Pickens 24th and 37th or whatever the case may be.
I'm good with Pickens.
Yeah, let's do Pickens. I would have loved Christian Watson. He went one pick before. So I for the record, do have Watson ahead of Pickens. But, with Watson going here, I think it makes it even more important that you get Pickens because it's like after Pickens, the X guys, maybe you got Mechie. He's got the injury concerns, but, Pickens has injury concerns too. So it thins out really quick after this. Like Pickens and Mechie are sort of the last two possible wide receiver 1 types. So let's go with Pickens here, and the Falcons will be on the clock here in just a minute. No Ravens. I'm not trading up to pick 45.
Ravens always trying to trade back.
I know, man. This simulator is too accurate, dude.
That when it comes to the Bengals.
Yeah. Bengals trying to get fired apparently. So.
Do the Bengals ever even trade? Isn't that like their thing?
Think so.
They never trade?
No, I don't think so. So, all right. So, let's see where we're at. So, Matt Corral, I think all the quarterbacks are still here. Corral, Howell, and Strong are still here. Christian Harris still here.
Look at
Kenneth Walker. Yeah. Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, Brees Hall, Trey McBride, Travis Jones, the nose tackle, Dylan Parham, the interior offensive lineman, John Mechie is still here. Along with Calvin Austin, Jalen Tolbert.
They want to be aggressive at receiver.
Yeah, I can see them double dipping. I mean, like Mechie's good value.
I know where Adnan wants to go here.
Yeah, what do you want on?
And then it's like, Mechie. You're with Mechie, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, I would love Mechie right here.
That would be a fun duo. That would be a pretty fun duo.
Even if we took Pickens, because the wide receiver room is just so barren. I know this is Auden Tate. And Darryl
now he could be wide receiver 3. So
and a lot of ways yes, but it's really good value.
Travis Jones is still on the board?
Yeah, Travis Jones is the only one that gives me pause, just because Travis Jones is really good. I feel
like we gotta throw Grady a bone, give him some help or something,
Right. We did get Jermaine Johnson at 8, so that helps. Yeah. But what about Anthony Rush? We have Anthony Rush. We can't draft a nose tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do? I think we're deciding between Travis Jones and John Mechie.
When is Mechie going to come back?
I think they said he'd be ready by the end of training camp. I thought.
Okay. So Jameson Williams was at the pro day today, and he was doing light jogging. So he should be back. He's aiming to be back by training camp. And Mechie got injured before him because Mechie got injured in the SEC title game, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But for me, it's
for him. So
for me,
they don't really need him to play early. I mean,
right. That's what I'm saying. I would think this would be as close to a luxury pick as you can get because the fact that you have Pickens in the room already, that you don't have to rush Mechie back. You can, take your time. If you're back by October, cool. We'll throw you in the plans. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I could get on board with either of these guys.
Are we completely out on a quarterback here? Because I feel like this is the last swing at taking a guy that you can.
We pick again at 74, so one of them might still be there.
I think Strong will probably be there at 74, but I think if you got your heart set on Corral or Howell, I think
which
Eric's
I don't.
probably right. Those
two I don't. Strong, I'm willing to.
Strong in the third would be tremendous. That's just a slam dunk. It's sure, see what he turns into, But
I like Strong. I really do.
Yeah. Okay.
So
let's do.
We're gonna cross our fingers for Strong at 74.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on quarterback here. I think.
Okay. So it's
So
going to come
it's
down to Mechie and
Travis Jones. So do we do, go for the defensive line rebuild or the wide receiver overhaul? Both make a lot of sense.
I asked about Mechie just because, again, I haven't done a deep dive on all the receivers in this draft class because I was just basically looking at everybody who's big beforehand.
Yeah,
and I
smart.
just wonder, is there someone else out there that you could potentially get later at wide receiver that is only a small drop off from Mechie in your guys' eyes that you don't have to worry about that he can come in and play right away and still cross off that long-term checks? I will defer to you guys. If you say no, then I'm more than willing to go with John Mechie there.
Yeah, I mean, like Tolbert is there. Alec Pierce is probably going to be there well into the third round. Then you can also go for like more of the spark plug guys. Like Calvin Austin probably won't make it much longer, but like, Kyle Phillips, Wandale, Khalil Shakir, those guys, those guys will probably all be there a little bit longer too. So
at 82, right?
Yeah,
82 round 3.
Right. So like I think there will be other options. It's just like if we feel like Mechie or Calvin Austin are like the guy that we want to grab for sure, then we could do that. But if we're not, like if you're like, would you rather have Travis Jones and Tolbert, Wandale, or Alec Pierce, or would you rather have Mechie and I don't know. There probably won't be another good interior defense.
There's not another good.
Maybe Fidarian Mathis would make it.
Like
that's like the last one.
For nose.
Well,
though,
we could get John Ridgway late probably, or Neil Farrell, I guess.
There's a drop off between Jones and Ridgway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't take Jones, you probably just roll with Anthony Rush. But
probably so. I'm with you guys bringing that. I'm good with Travis Jones here.
Yeah.
I'll whatever Adnan wants to do. I can go either way.
What do you think?
So we can go defensive line here.
All right, we'll do Travis Jones. Travis Jones, good player.
Falcons invest in defensive line. This
is wild. This is never going to happen. Yeah.
Good defensive line.
2 big defensive line picks. What is happening? Yeah. All right.
This is a pretty solid draft so far. I like.
Yeah,
the first
I like it.
I'm still raising that question mark at quarterback and see if they're able to get something or someone worth building around or developing. But outside of that, in terms of just adding talent to the roster, this is pretty good to me.
This was the strategy that they were, until a certain Houston Texans quarterback became available. This was the strategy they were putting forward, build up the roster and then go get the quarterback. So we're following what they're putting down, at least what they were putting down.
Yeah. All right. So
the best of both worlds now. Mechie's still on the board.
Yeah, Mechie is still on the board. It's funny.
At 74.
Yeah. Calvin Austin ended up going ahead of him. I maybe because of the injury. I don't know.
Strong.
Yeah, so we got Howell, Mechie, Strong.
I'm going to ask you guys the same thing we ask about the trades. Is it realistic to think that Mechie is available at 74?
I think if teams are afraid of the injuries, that
I
think there's a possibility it could happen. I don't think it's likely.
I think there's gonna be a run of wide receivers at some point between like pick 15 and 40 or whatever, and so that could that could pull guys up. So, but I feel like all things being equal, he could be there at 74.
He could. I probably would lean away from it just because I think it's not super likely. But let's see who else is here. We got. Like Carson Strong and Sam Howell are still here. I don't think Howell will have made it this long, but Carson Strong might.
Not be there at 74.
Yeah, Carson Strong might. There's a chance.
Yeah, because the knee stuff is the big question mark with Strong. I could see. If the injury question marks are there, like he might not even be the top 100 pick.
Yeah, that's true.
From what I heard, it's a knee thing that is likely to shorten his career. It's kind of sort of like similar to what Gurley had. Where you're only going to get a few seasons out of it, and then at some point he's going to hit the wall. So
yeah, well, in that case, maybe we just want to ignore quarterback then.
You just want to ignore it completely.
We could. I mean, we could talk about it,
which is fine. I mean, but I think with the tools that he brings to the table, you can still get a good. You can still have a solid quarterback that you can build around for at least
Probably the
5.
rookie contract at least, but
Yeah,
I feel
and
like for the Falcons, it's like they're either going to go after like a long-term project or they're probably like not going to bother. Like they're probably like, okay, we need someone to like really move the needle over Felipe Franks. And like I think Carson Strong is definitely better than Felipe Franks, but you know, it's sort of
Carson
like,
Strong is a
Yeah.
one contract quarterback, like where do you feel comfortable taking someone like that?
right. I mean, it's probably like day 3 then, you know.
Yeah, it's probably like round 4, right?
Yeah. So we can see how long he lasts.
You wouldn't normally get his skill set in round 4. That's the
No,
thing.
not normally. So it would be sort of because of the injury concerns.
Right. It would be strictly because of that. Because if you just take that off the table, this guy, to me, I think he's a solid second round QB that you can develop and you can really latch on long term. But that
I would say without the knee question marks, he's probably a top 50 talent in most years.
Yeah. I think so. Other guys available, we talked about probably not actually draft. Like if John Mechie is here, then absolutely draft him. But I think we're all sort of like probably won't be here. Isaiah Likely at tight end. All the tight ends other than Trey McBride are still here. Cade Otton, I really like. He could be an option. Jeremy Ruckert, Dulcich. But again, they could probably get a good tight end, you know, at any time in the next 3 or 4 picks. So it just depends on how much you like the top tight ends.
What are we looking at? What are we looking at offensive tackle?
It's bad. We just Abraham Lucas and Rasheed Walker just went. Those are like sort of the guys I usually look at here. So now it's like Cordell Volson, Matt Waletzko, Braxton Jones. So probably not here.
We're good.
We sort of got the bad end of that. Unfortunately,
we still have Caleb McGarry. We're good.
For one more year, we can let it ride for one more year. We got Elijah Wilkinson, guys. We also got safety.
He better run to 4.8.
You know who else runs a 4.8?
Yeah. Kirby Joseph, Damari Mathis, Nick Cross are the top safeties left. So no one really deserving of 74, in my opinion. Brian Asamoah, Leo Chenal, Channing Tindall, Troy Anderson at linebacker, Drake Jackson still available at edge, Nick Benito, Fidarian Mathis. At corner, we've got Mario Goodrich, Darian Kendrick, and Alante Taylor. I do like Alante Taylor. He's pretty good. But again, corner's not like a huge pressing need. I mean, I think someone like Taylor makes sense, you know, as a guy who can probably sit for a year and be your depth guy until Casey Hayward's contract's up. But
you can get one of those guys on day 3.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got.
Do we double dip at receiver or edge here?
Who are the edges?
At edge we got Drake Jackson, Nick Benito, Sam Williams. I definitely like Sam Williams. I like all those guys, honestly. I mean, Benito and Sam Williams. Drake Jackson's good.
I like Sam Williams. I don't think Drake Jackson is there at 74.
No, I don't think so. No. Benito and Williams might be.
Benito and Williams might be. More likely Benito is there than Williams. And what other receivers are left?
Ignoring Mechie, Jalen Tolbert, Kyle Phillips, Wandale, Khalil Shakir, Alec Pierce. I feel like we can wait because we pick again at 82. So I feel like at receiver we could probably wait and see which one's there if we want to double dip at 82.
So let me ask you guys a question here. Knowing what we know about Dean Pease and his love, and I use that term loosely, for young rookie guys, how do you think, or what are the expectations you think he will have for 2 rookie edge rushers that are drafted this high? Are we going to see a situation where Benito is sitting for most of the year because he, quote unquote, can't learn the playbook?
I don't think so.
Probably going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Jermaine Johnson, they have to play. So, like,
I mean, I get what you're saying, Eric. It's kind of the thing of like, are we going to get immediate return, or are we just kind of just stockpiling bodies for 3 or 4 years when the defense is actually good?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely need bodies at edge and wide receiver for that matter. So, like, I feel like stocking up makes sense.
We saw it play out with a second rounder last year, and we may see it play out again with a third round. It's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, why draft players high if he's not going to play them? Like, it's just
Yeah.
Well, it's because we need to get him like, percolating. We got to get him in the system. I mean, yeah, it's tough. Like, I mean, I wouldn't mind tight end. Like, I really like Cade Otton. Isaiah Likely's more of the receiving tight end, but I think Otton is a really sort of slept on dual threat. So I wouldn't mind Otton here. I also like Channing Tindall a lot. I think he's underrated.
I would have loved to take him the right tackle here.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, honestly. I took Abraham Lucas here in my last mock. Yeah.
Give us some competition to McGarry. I would have loved that right here.
We sort of missed on tackle with the way we did this, and it's just unfortunate. Usually one of Rasheed Walker or Abraham Lucas will fall here, and those guys are good picks at this range, but unfortunately didn't quite make it. I guess to me, I would be considering like maybe Otton, one of the linebackers or one of the edge guys. Those are probably my top. I mean, probably.
How likely do you guys think we'll see Deion Jones in uniform?
I mean,
2022.
It seems like he's playing for the Falcons this year
Because
his roster bonus already. Kicked in,
right.
so.
It's hard to gauge that too.
Because I mean, it's like, I think, maybe you guys feel differently, but I think you kind of want to see the team move on at this point.
Yes.
But like,
I kind of do.
Can they?
You sit there and you're like, okay, like, is anybody going to trade for it? You got to wait till June to trade him. And then is anybody going to trade for him at that point? Like, you're going to get like a 7th round pick in 2023 for him? Is
Yeah.
At that point, is it really worth it?
Right. I mean, I think you sort of let him play it out at this point, unless you get a good offer. But
as long as he's not actively destroying the locker room, I think at this point you just ride it out with him for another season.
Yeah.
And then next year, I think it's a lot more feasible to possibly move on from him. And maybe he rehabs his value. Maybe he actually gives a shit when he plays this year. Probably not, but maybe. And maybe you can get a decent pick next year for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think someone like Leo Chenal makes a lot of sense for the Falcons defense. Guy really good as a blitzer, bigger linebacker. Particularly playing next to someone like Deion Jones, more of like that enforcer style. He actually tested out super well too. So, the upside in coverage could be there. He wasn't terrific at it in college.
I like Tindall better.
Yeah, I like Tindall better too. Tindall slept on because he's not, N'Kobe Dean or Quay Walker, but
especially given the fact that we have a true nose tackle now.
Yes.
So having those undersized linebackers behind him, I feel comfortable with compared to playing, an undersized nose like we did for the past several years with Tyler Davison. Mm-hmm. So now you have a beefy guy in Travis Jones at 325 that's sitting right there in the middle. So I can let Channing Tindall roam and do what he does best.
Yeah, I like Channing Tindall a lot. Yeah, I guess to me it would be either Cade Otton at tight end, Channing Tindall at linebacker, or either Nick Bonito or Sam Williams at edge. Sort of pick your poison there. They're both a little bit different. I mean, if we're taking Tindall, we probably go with Williams because Bonito offers you like a little bit as an off-ball guy too. But I don't know. That's a tough call. All right, we have to make a decision because we still got a bunch of picks to get through. So
Bonito, I say Bonito.
Okay, Aaron, who do you got?
I'm good with Bonito.
Okay, Adnan, you good with Bonito?
I am, but part of me just wants to go with Mechie anyway here.
Yeah, I mean, I would if it was like the previous pick, but it's possible. I hope they actually, if he does fall here, that they take. I mean, I think if he falls here in the real draft, it's probably because there's some more serious medical problem that we're not aware of.
I still pull the trigger on him. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I don't even care. We're not going to be good this year. Let him just sit in the cold bath all season.
I mean, we can make Adnan happy here and keep those Kyle Hamilton jokes flying if we
there you go.
I am single-handedly destroying Kyle Hamilton's draft stock right now.
Yeah. He's just you gotta keep working it. Gotta keep working it. So, all right, Falcons will be on the clock here in just a second at pick 82. This is the pick from Matt Ryan.
We couldn't even get their higher third round pick.
I know, right? Ridiculous. All right, so now all the tight ends that I had talked about are still there. So that's nice. The linebackers, Leo Chenal and Channing Tindall, are still there, along with those corners we talked about. John Mechie is not there. But
is Wandale available?
yes, Wandale's still there. Jalen Tolbert,
Come on,
Kyle
bro.
Phillips, Wandale, Khalil Shakir, Alec Pierce. I know you love Wandale. He's like your boy.
Eric manipulated it so that we could pass
Yes.
on Mechie, so that we could be peer pressured into getting Wandale.
I
Caught
knew
on
it.
one.
I knew it. Yeah.
I'm not interested in taking a running back now, but I'm just curious who's out there.
Yeah. James Cook, Brian Robinson, Tyler Batty, Kyron Williams, Damian Pierce, Zamir White, Rashad White, Jerome Ford. I mean, basically like a million guys.
The guys I'm hoping that are going to still be available potentially round 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, remember we do have to fill a quote of at least one Georgia player.
We got Pickens.
already
We're
did,
good.
Pickens.
We did. Oh my
Yeah.
bad.
We're
Bang
good.
that out,
We got the
so.
Georgia guy. Yeah.
What we need to
That's
fill
a
a quota
quota.
of at least 2 Georgia players.
No.
Just moving the goalposts on.
Look, we drafted one and we signed another one this offseason. We're good. Okay.
Yeah.
We're fine.
It's not enough. We just won our first title. There needs to be at least 5 UGA players out.
Oh God.
Well, we considered Tyndall, so
We did.
I think we checked that box, right?
we could still get Tyndall. You know, he's still there. So
Now, if we were to go Wandale here, we literally spent 5 picks on a defensive line and wide receiver. We didn't address
yes. Hell yeah.
anything else.
Who needs anything else? We don't need anything else. There's no other positions in this game. Who cares?
We
Yeah.
literally spent 5 picks on 2 positions, basically. So
Yes.
it's like, all right.
But the thing is, the Falcons just don't have that many needs, so we can just make these.
Yeah, it's easy. You know, we only really need 2 positions, right? It's all good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good players left. It's nice. I mean, to be fair, this was a nice draft to pick up this extra third in because there's just plenty of good players here. Oh yeah, Lil Rebel points out Jermaine Johnson technically played at Georgia, so that's 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Check that box.
So we're good. We're good. We don't have to force that. Yeah, this is a tough call. I guess at this point it's linebacker, wide receiver, tight end, seemingly the best options here.
I'm Team Wandale, but if you guys don't want to go there, I'm fine with a linebacker.
Jalen Tolbert is there too. Kyle Phillips, Khalil Shakir, Alec Pierce. But if we want another wide receiver, it probably has to either be this pick or the next pick because it thins out after that pretty quick.
So if we go wide receiver, we're going into the season with what, like Tate, Wandale in the slot, and Pickens on the outside. That's our trio and 11 personnel.
That's our trio, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a whole bunch of fades, and then whatever Wandale does,
Whatever, yeah, a drag,
yeah, okay.
fades and drags. That's all we're running.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
can get behind that.
I think that's okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I slightly prefer someone who's probably got more outside ability than Wandale, but they do have Tate, so
I mean, you can now go with a smaller guy like Wandale.
yeah, because they got Pickens and Tate.
6'5",
Yeah.
6'6", 6'4", all surrounded. Like it's fine.
Right. He can be a point guard. He can be a small point guard on the team with, size everywhere. Nothing but power forwards and small forwards everywhere. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he would give them another dimension that they don't sort of have. Like him or Calvin Austin, I think make a lot of sense. Calvin Austin's not here, but that both of those players sort of like the spark plug type of guy. So I think that pick does make sense.
I always felt like that type of player really isn't a necessity in this game, but to have that type of player that can win you those one-on-ones with that in that particular aspect.
Yeah, I mean,
will enhance the offense because of course you can add size everywhere. That's great, but if you got a guy that can work the middle of the field like Wandale, that's only going to allow you to have, Kyle Pitts lined out wide. It'll be a lot more effective that way, in my opinion, because of the fact that now you have that true threat in the middle of the field in Wandale there. So
yeah. I mean, I think the Wandale pick makes a lot of sense because they need like it's something that would be nice to have, like a short yardage guy, somebody that could take a screen, for positive yardage.
Yeah.
So, because Tate's not doing that. That's
Tate's
not really
not-
Pickens' game either.
I don't think Pickens is doing that either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So giving them that sort of quick outlet guy to sort of take some pressure off of the offensive line, I think that makes sense. So I'm fine with Wandale. I'm fine with that. Let's do it. We got to move this draft forward. We're already over now.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm lighting my cigar. And,
That's all he wanted. Eric's gonna leave
my
now.
picks.
Manipulated the hell out of us.
Eric's
We got
leaving, yeah. Yeah, no, Daniel Falele is not there. I would have taken Daniel Falele in a heartbeat. Trust me.
I really would have wanted to use the third round to get some legit competition for McGarry here. And
Yeah, that's the one thing we're just not going to get. You just have to sort of, if you leave day 2 without getting that tackle, you pretty much have to kiss that one goodbye, unfortunately. So,
yeah.
All right, so pick 114.
I'm thinking running back here.
I feel like we can wait. Wait till the 5th.
Is Brian Robinson still there?
He's not.
God damn it.
I feel like you can just wait. You can just wait.
This is the one place where me and Eric agree. I just been like, we're just gonna get Brian Robinson at 114.
Yeah,
playing all
would have been a hell of a draft at that point.
Yeah, he went at 108. So the top running backs right now: Tyler Beatty, Kyron Williams, Damian Pierce, Zamir White, Rashad White, Jerome Ford, Hassan Haskins.
Able to get Brian Robinson at 114. I would have had that cigar and a glass of stock. Yo, this is amazing.
I do like Damian Pierce. He is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
He's a what?
He's
a
psychopath.
He's a
Yeah.
psycho.
Have you seen this
He
man
runs
run?
crazy.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah, okay. I like that description. I can go with that. I like him here as well. He's
Yeah. I think
he's not necessarily, of course. For
BPA
anyone-
right now is actually tight end. Greg Dulcich is the top guy on the board. We know how important tight end 2 is to this offense. So
I'm
that's
curious.
an option too.
They have him. How many picks do they have him for?
Just this one.
I'm curious, Kevin, with the tight end, given that we didn't use Hayden Hurst, because I know you got into this on Twitter today with folks talking about the
people.
tight end. Do you feel like you want somebody that can be more of that true Y tight end that can stand in there and mix it up as a blocker, like how Arthur Smith used those guys last year? Or do you're hoping to get sort of a Dallas guard to Kyle Pitts' Zach Ertz?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't know if they just if Hayden Hurst just didn't jive with Arthur Smith. Like, I don't really know what happened there. It didn't seem like they wanted to feature him as a receiver at all, even though Arthur Smith did throw the ball to the tight end 2 quite a bit in Tennessee. So I don't know if just the fit wasn't great or he just wasn't good enough as a blocker to get out there. Dulcich definitely has work to do as a blocker.
There were also some fumbling issues with Hurst.
Yeah. So that's part of it. I mean, I think if they're looking for more of we could if we wait, maybe Jelani Woods would fall to the 5th round.
Is Ruckert still there?
Ruckert just went.
Okay.
Ruckert and Cade Otton just went. If it was Cade Otton, this would be a slam dunk because that dude can block.
Because I feel like those are the guys that are they
Ruckert.
balance the two thing where you can get them the block and catch.
Yes. I mean, at this point, if we don't want to go for the receiving type, we could maybe hope Jelani Woods falls, or we could just go later for Kolar or Daniel Bellinger, who I like a lot, as a late round guy.
Kolar doesn't give you a ton as a blocker, but
he should be better as a blocker.
He's
he
6'7".
needs to be better.
We're going all,
with length, right? He doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't have to be an all pro there. I would have liked to add this addition because of the fact, again, more size on the field, a huge red zone target, much bigger red zone target than Hayden Hurst ever provided. So I would, if we were to go in that direction, that's why I would go with Kolar. 114.
Tight end's deep. We could probably wait a little bit.
I don't mind going Damian Pierce here.
I feel like I don't know what the rankings are, but I feel like Kolar could be there in 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Kolar will be there in the 5th, maybe even 6th. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think Damian Pierce is ranked on the rankings a little bit lower than this, but I honestly think Pierce probably isn't going to fall much further than this in reality. No. If they want Pierce, they probably have to take him here, and I'm down for that. I love Pierce. I think he's awesome. I like Rashad White too. That would be the only other guy that I would consider here. But I think Pierce probably fits Arthur Smith a little better than Rashad White. Because as Aaron so eloquently put it, he's a psychopath. So,
okay, he's tough to tackle, man.
And he doesn't have a lot of work either. He didn't get the wear and tear of these other guys. So,
He's a bowling ball. He really is. He's tough to tackle. Great in between tackles for a guy. I thought of like a Kareem Hunt type comparison for him.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see that.
I saw some similarities. So I think David Pierce provides good value here.
Guys, Zamir White is a champion.
National. We already got 2 dogs. Okay. Well, let's do Pierce then. I like Pierce. Let's get spicy.
That's really going to grind Adnan's gears to add a Florida Gator to this roster.
The Gators are of no threat to me.
A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep. So.
I really like the Florida Gator that we added last year too.
Yep. Yeah. You were willing to overlook it.
He had no choice. He went 4th overall. You have to like him, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to build that narrative no matter who they took.
All right. Let's see where we're at here. All right. So, best player available, Aaron Matariza, punter from San Diego State.
This is punter territory. We're getting up here.
This is where we get just the fans to come. They were in on the whole exercise until we take Matariza.
Amazing how fans don't understand the factor of field position.
Yeah,
look, the Falcons are not going to be good this year, right?
Yeah.
You know that. Like they need to win field position if they're going to have any.
Let's try to.
Matariza is really good. So
let's try to pin opposing offenses back as much as we can. Okay, because
Matariza this year would get more snaps than what Richie Grant got last year.
I think I saw a blurb on NFL.com on Matariza's thing, and how they do the little scout quote or whatever about the player. I think it was bad teams are going to put him up higher because they're going to value field position because they can't move the ball or whatever it gets me. Yeah. I'm like, this person is describing exactly what the Falcons are going to be this year. So
yes. I mean, honestly, it's not that bad of a pick here.
Where
151 for Matariza. I think that's a fair spot for him.
I think that's probably where he'll wind up going.
Yeah, I think he'll be around this area.
But we don't have to reach on a punter here.
We don't have to reach on a punter. No, I do wonder how far he'll fall.
We are going to get blasted on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that would be so funny. We would just tuck that. We would make that small font and put the rest of the picks out.
We took a punter in round 5. We're
that's how you really get blasted.
I'm just saying for the people, we're not going to take a punter here, but don't be surprised if the Falcons why they're taking a punter.
Don't be shocked at all if they take Matariza here. Do not be shocked.
Like you guys said, he's actually pretty good at what he does.
He's like an elite punter. I mean, legitimately. Little Rebel brought up a good point. LSU linebacker Damone Clark, who's going to miss the season. He is still available here. I would definitely consider taking him here, Little Rebel. I think this is a good spot. The Falcons again.
Did he have was it hernia surgery?
I thought it was a spinal fusion.
Yeah, it was like a fused disc or something. Okay. Yeah. But 5th round. So not going to play this year.
We can
but
possibly squeeze a starter out of a 5th rounder. We've done it before.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple times before, yeah.
The other linebackers.
JV was a 5th.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with tight end here, depending on how you guys feel. They have how many 5th rounders do they have? Just one.
They have just this one. Then they have 2 6ths. Jalen Weidermeyer, Cole Turner, Austin Allen, also Kolar and Bellinger.
Yeah, Jalen Weidermeyer, his draft stock
he ain't getting drafted.
Yeah, that 40 time.
It's funny. I think he's ranked in the 200s over at Pro Football Network as well. Their draft rank.
Yeah. Weidermeyer used to be tight end 3.
Wow.
When I was doing the consensus board a month ago, he was in the hundreds. He was a day 3 pick then. And when he ran a 5.0, it's just he ain't get drafted.
No, that's unacceptable, unfortunately for him. I feel like if we want Kolar or Bellinger, we could probably wait till the 6th round for one of them. We might not get Kolar, but we'll get Bellinger.
Well, remember, we only got 1 6th-round pick because one of those is being
if a reason's there,
punter. We got to get a punter.
That's for Matariza. Yeah.
Rise up, yeah. We're taking him.
Yeah.
So I'm
Let's see.
corner safety.
Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, Caleb Evans from Missouri at corner, Tyson
Kobe,
Anderson from Toledo,
Kobe will
Sterling
not.
Weatherford from Miami, Ohio.
I don't think
at
Kobe's gonna
safety.
get drafted that high.
What really?
I don't think so. Like,
I think that this is the year of the Bearcats here. The love
The
is
year of the Bearcats.
it's being spread around the entire roster. I think he's probably going to get drafted a year early than not a year, around early than he's expected to.
I feel like he's going to be a day 3 guy, and I wouldn't shock me if he's still there in round 5.
I think he goes in round 3, honestly.
Kobe Bryant, really?
Not to think he's a 3rd round value, just I think teams are going to.
Yeah, he's big. He's big and long. Yeah,
right.
Teams like that.
They do.
Let's see.
Yeah.
They could use a safety. Like Sterling Weatherford, I think is always interesting. He's sort of like a linebacker safety hybrid. He was pretty good at Senior Bowl. I liked him. Tyson Anderson from Toledo tested really well. I like his game too. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think those are sort of the best guys.
Brian Cook still available?
Yes.
From
Yeah, I like
Cincy?
Brian Cook too. Yeah, he's good.
I feel like Brian Cook's going to go in round 3 over.
Yeah,
Really?
he probably should. Yeah, I like Brian Cook. I would take him here. He's
What
good
about
value here.
JT? Is JT Woods still there?
Yes.
I like JT Woods.
Yeah, he's good too. Reed Blankenship, my draft crush from last year.
I hate his name. For some reason. I'm sorry.
I just hate his name.
Nothing against the players.
No offense, man, but if you don't change your name, I'm gonna change it for you.
You gotta change your name. Sounds like a professor, not an NFL player.
Yeah. At linebacker, DeMarco Jackson, Damone Clark, Mike Rose.
Jeez.
Yeah, linebacker cleared out pretty quick.
We're at the point where it's just like,
I say safety. I mean, this is more likely going to be a special teams type pick anyway. So
100%.
I say safety here to kind of round out the safety room.
So do we like Tyson Anderson, Sterling Weatherford, Brian Cook, or JT Woods? They're all ranked within like 5 spots of each other.
I like Cook. I think this is the appropriate draft range for Cook. I know
he's good. I think he makes sense for this scheme too because he's a little bit, he can sort of play either safety spot and sort of rotate, which seems to be what they like.
Is this unrealistic for you, Aaron? Him here, Brian Cook in round 5?
I mean, I think he's going to go earlier, but
okay,
I could be wrong. I don't know.
He's 162 at TDM, which is a little bit low. I thought he would be like a 4th round guy.
I think PFN has him like in the 170s, 180s. So this is appropriate range.
Yeah, he's been moving up steadily, but he used to be like late 6th. Now he's more like 5th. So it's sort of he's been all over the place. But I could get behind Cook. You guys want Cook?
I put him like in the 90s in my predictive board that I did the other day.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, he's good. Like, I mean, he's been good value here.
What is it you love about him? What is it that pops off the page?
I mean, I think he's just steady, like there's not really anything stand out about him. He's just he feels like what you typically see going round 3.
Yeah.
For me as a safety most years.
That's good in multiple phases, but not excellent in
a solid round 3, maybe round 4 type of safety to me.
Yeah, he's like a really good like 3rd safety, just like the perfect guy, kind of fill in any spot. Probably could even be better than a 3rd safety to be honest, but yeah, I'm fine with Cook. I like Cook if he's here. I think that's a good value. Let's do it.
I'll take him. Yeah, let's go.
All right, Brian Cook. Let's go. All right, guys. So to recap, so far,
pretty well-rounded draft.
it's very well-rounded. We double dipped at edge and wide receiver. I think that'll make a lot of people happy. Those are like the 2 positions everyone's like we need to take like as many as possible. We got Jermaine Johnson at 8. We got George Pickens at 43. Nose tackle Travis Jones at 58. Edge rusher Nick Benito at 74. wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson at 82, running back Dameon Pierce at 114, and safety Brian Cook at 151. Now we'll be on the clock at pick 190 for the last of two more picks. We got 2 6th-rounders. This one in the compensatory selection from Alex Mack. Matt Arise is still here. Are we doing this? This is pick 190. This is pick 190. This is the one.
Let's do it.
We doing this?
6th round is fine.
Yeah.
Starter for an elite punter. I'm here for it.
I'm down.
You know where I stand on this, Kevin. So
I know, yeah. We're doing Matt Ariza. This is the easiest pick of the whole draft. We're taking Matt Ariza here at 190. Punter.
I know the Georgia fans are upset that we're not taking Camarda. But
Camarda, right? You're right.
Yeah. Look, like, no offense.
A punter at 190 and it wasn't Jake Camarda?
We already got 2 dogs, all right? We already got 2 dogs, so we're all good.
No, 1.5 dogs.
Yeah. We did miss out on all the tight ends, though, unfortunately.
Maybe we can take Camarda here.
Just get another one.
Double dip at punter?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Training camp competition. Let's
how can
go.
opposing teams game plan against 2 punters on the field?
Really?
I don't know, man. That's some next level stuff. That's some next level stuff for sure.
I mean, Camarda could be a gunner, right? Didn't he run like a 4.6 or something like that?
He did. He ran fast.
He ran faster than Kyle Hamilton? Jesus Christ.
Hamilton did run a 4.8.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a 4.88 too.
All right.
I
So
mean, Hamilton is undraftable at this point almost, man.
yeah.
He loses a foot race to a punter.
Yeah, that's
what are we
unacceptable.
doing?
That's just from like a pride standpoint.
What are we doing?
All right, so Baylor cornerback Kalen Barnes is still here. This is the dude that ran like the 4.23.
Like a speedster.
Yeah.
I like
And the special teams that
Yeah.
matters at this point.
Yeah. Jeffrey Gunter, the edge from Coastal Carolina. I know he has a lot of fans. Tyler Algier, the running back from BYU. I know he has a lot of fans too. Marquise Bell. What's that?
I like Marquise Bell a lot.
Yeah, Marquise Bell's good. We already took a safety, so it's like we don't really need another one. But
I know, yeah, we're not. Where we're looking at what are we looking like at linebacker?
not great. Ellis Brooks, Chance Campbell, Merlin Robertson. So your pick of the priority UDFAs.
I've heard of Chance Campbell, so that's
Yeah.
something.
I've heard of Ellis Brooks.
Yeah, I've heard of these people. Probably just gonna go try our luck with. We're just gonna sign Rashawn Evans at that point. I think that's the best strategy.
Who's the
there.
tight ends? We got to hook Arthur Smith up if we can get a decent.
All
tight
the
end.
good ones are gone. We got James Mitchell, Nick Muse, Connor Hayward, Grant Calcaterra.
Is Chase Allen
Henderson.
still there?
Yeah, Chase Allen's still there.
You can get a blocker.
Yeah, this man can block. Chase Allen can block. That's for damn sure. So,
You know?
James
I mean,
Mitchell can as well.
what's that?
James Mitchell can block as well.
Yeah, Virginia Tech.
Calcaterra cannot.
No, Calcaterra cannot. Yeah, he's like a receiver. Yeah, he's like basically just a big wide receiver.
Look offended if someone tell him to line up inside and block someone. Like,
Yeah.
We also probably, we've gone so far without taking a center, so we need to take a center, right? That's what the Falcons do.
That's required, right? We got Jatira Carter. He's still there. He's like somewhat interesting.
how many centers do we need?
We could get Tyler Vrabel. We could get
just
Mike
keep
Vrabel's
picking
son.
centers until one of them becomes good, right?
How many teams in the NFL are 3 deep at center? I don't get. What are we
We
doing?
need it. What if there's
Oh
injuries?
no, we don't have a fucking long snapper. What is going
I
on?
don't think
It's a
I don't
guy
even think
from
that's
Pitt.
an option. I don't even think that's an option on this board, to be
Pitt.
honest.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You can't convert one of those centers into a long snapper? Like, what's going on?
Maybe we should. Maybe that's why they drafted so
There's
many.
not a
'cause they-
hybrid center long snapper on this draft. On this draft board.
There might be. It's just
There's
not
gotta be
labeled
one.
on this draft board. Yeah.
We'll
I don't
just
know.
have
I'm probably.
you be the long snapper too.
Yeah.
You know what?
I guess I would probably say let's draft Kalen Barnes just because 4.23. He could run fast.
Oh, so can Kendall Sheffield. I mean,
Yeah, but
Yeah, but we're getting rid of Kendall.
That's literally exactly
Right.
what
We gotta replace him.
right.
Say
But
that-
like Kalen Barnes is costing us pick 219. Kendall
Say that
Sheffield
again,
cost us
Adnan?
4th. Yeah.
Fourth, yeah.
Would you say, Adnan?
I said that's exactly what I was thinking too when we were talking about speed with the corner. Like last time we went
For
pure
special
speed.
teams? He's getting
Yeah.
burnt by Kristen Blake in training camp. Like this
I
is
don't know, I just
That's
can't get
embarrassing.
over how bad Kendall Sheffield is. It's just sour.
It did not work. It did not work.
Anything
Very promising.
anything at guard?
No, there's nothing in interior.
Nothing even worth looking at guard?
I don't think so. No, nothing worth drafting.
You don't draft one offensive lineman? Good Lord.
Oh,
no.
God.
We spent them all on the defensive line.
We're in bad shape.
Who?
We're running it back with offensive line, huh?
Hey. The offensive line was. Let's move on.
I know screen pause there for a second.
It was bad.
He was buffering.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, look on the bright side for offensive line. All right, let's move on to the pick.
Moving on, yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would be down for several of these guys. I mean, we could probably, if we want a blocking tight ends, Chase Allen. He's a good blocker.
We did just lose Lee Smith.
Yep. I mean, he would be available as a UDFA, but maybe they want him as like a priority guy.
Lost 2 tight ends this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, he's just not really a factor as a pass catcher, but he's a good blocker.
We'll be a running team anyway this year.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Either that or like Kalen Barnes probably, just to get that, chance that he could turn into something.
What other corners are available?
Matt Hankins, Demarion Williams, Kyler McMichael, Sam Webb.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
McMichael's big, and he did have a good Shrine Bowl, but that's about it.
Wait, we still have pick 213, don't we?
No, this is pick 313.
Oh, this is pick 213.
We took Matt Ariza, remember? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe in hindsight we should have taken a tight end there, but whatever.
It's still the draft.
Yeah. Look,
we're not going to care about missing on the tight end when Ariza's averaging
75 yards per punt. AKA they didn't move the ball at all, and he got it down to the 1 every single play.
Who is actually the best player available right now on the board?
Kalen Barnes.
Okay.
Yep. He's 190 overall. We're at 213, so
special teams matters.
Special teams matters.
Yeah, we can do it.
You all want Kalen Barnes then? Let's we'll swing on that upside. Yeah.
Well, we might as well bolster the special teams
and let's cut Kendall Sheffield and bring in his clone.
Sure. Yes, except this one only cost us a late 6th round pick. So, hey,
he better
much better, much better value, much better value.
I guess.
Look,
all right.
Ariza, Avery Williams, Kalen Barnes. We're gonna have the best special teams in the league, man.
We'll be elite in something. Okay.
We got two. The last 2 picks we addressed special teams. We got the best punter in the draft, and we got a potential gunner here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
maybe someday he could play defense too, but probably not.
Maybe.
You won't be able to turn away from your TV when the Falcons are punting next year.
That'll be must see.
Not 120 times it happens.
Not to mention, we gave an extension to the best kicker in the league. Mm-hmm. And of course, we still have Cordero Patterson.
Yes, he's going to break the record this year
in case of emergency. The special teams for the Falcons is just
4th down is going to be exciting, guys.
This is an elite unit here, man.
This is elite.
Like, you don't like what you see on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. Wait till 4th down. That's what it's going to get.
Yep.
Just down right there for the Falcons.
Can't wait till PFF gives us these special teams rankings, man.
Yep.
It'll be a lot of 4th and longs too.
It will for sure. All right, guys, that is our final draft class. All 9 picks. We elected to avoid the trades this time, so we'll do trades on our next live mock. Before we take off, let's recap. We got Jermaine Johnson, the edge rusher from Florida State, at 8. We were all pretty happy with that. George Pickens, the wide receiver from Georgia, at 43. We got nose tackle Travis Jones at 58 to bolster that defensive line again. Then another defensive lineman, Nick Benito, the edge rusher from Oklahoma, at 74. He can, we didn't take a linebacker, but Benito does have a little bit of flexibility to play a little off ball too, like a Sam role. So maybe he can help out there a little bit. But obviously that's a lot of defensive line and pass rush assistance and run defense assistance with Travis Jones. Then at 82, we got another wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson, to be a short yardage dynamic threat for the Falcons. Then we got At 114, running back Damian Pierce to give the Falcons a dynamic runner to pair with this new core that they got going. At 151, we got Brian Cook from Cincinnati, the safety. At 190, we got BPA punter Matt Ariza from San Diego State, the best punter in the draft, maybe the best punter in recent memory, because the Falcons don't have a starting punter right now. So pick makes a lot of sense. And at 190, if you have a problem with taking a punter, you can just shove it. At 213, we got cornerback Kalen Barnes, one of the fastest players in the draft, one of the fastest players ever, 4.23, to possibly be an impact special teams guy, maybe eventually something on defense. But hey, if he just is a really good special teams player and serviceable backup corner, then that's probably all we're expecting from him at that point. So that's the draft. Looks like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive players, 3 offensive players, and 1 punter. So
at the very least, I mean, this is an exciting draft, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They didn't address the quarterback position, which is still a significant question mark for this team going forward. But at the very least, you know, it definitely adds some speed and skill on at least on the offensive end, in my opinion, with Pickens, with Wandale, getting a guy like Damian Pierce that can be in a committee role. He can probably be your lead back.
Right.
And I'm fine if they don't address quarterback this draft. Like, I don't want to go. I want the next franchise quarterback to be someone that they're all committed to, and someone that they're convinced is going to be the guy. I don't like taking a quarterback just for the sake of it. So, you know, maybe their guy is Desmond Ridder, and if that's the case, I'm convinced that they're going to trade up for him.
Yeah, they would probably take that Bengals trade, you know, especially if that were the trade terms, because that would be easy money.
But if it's not, but if there's not, and this isn't the strongest quarterback class,
it isn't.
If they don't have someone that they're convinced is going to be that next franchise guy to follow Matt Ryan in this draft, I'm fine with punting the quarterback position until the next draft. Mariota is a decent stopgap. We can roll with him this year.
I'll understand why they pass. But I just keep that thought in the back of my mind, like, man, we're punting for a quarterback class that's an entire year away.
Yeah, it's very risky.
That's risky because, again, I keep resorting back to how we all felt about Spencer Rattler this time last year.
Right.
But it's also risky to take a quarterback that you're not convinced is going to be that next star player.
Well, it depends. At least, but teams will feel comfortable having that guy in the building because now you don't have to worry 365 days. Am I going to be able to get my quarterback? Because now that guy is in uniform. He's in the building. You can develop him and mold him however you want. So it checks that. Both are risk, but I think this will be less of a risk because, again, that worry is gone because the guy's here.
Yeah, no,
I'm with Eric on that point, but I'm also with Adnan just because, like, I don't want to see them reach on a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Like, if a good player falls to you, if that's Desmond Ridder at 43, if that's Sam Howell at 74, Carson Strong at 114 or 82 or whatever, pull the trigger all day, every day. I'm for bringing that guy in the building, as Eric said. But if you're going to reach on a guy just to, as Adnan said, take a quarterback just for the sake of taking a quarterback, I don't love that idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if they have someone, if someone they like is there while they're on the clock, they should do it. Like, don't just wait for this imaginary future quarterback to come in, because that's how you end up in a place where you're never getting the position taken care of.
Because I think the regime would be in a place where it would end up 3 drafts where they don't have that long-term answer at quarterback, because you still don't know what's going to happen in 2023. Right. And I think for a young regime like this, they kind of want to just get that box checked. Like, Can we just finally get our guy? Maybe not to the point of where they're trading up to go get a Malik Willis or they're trading up to go get a Desmond Ridder, but just the relief of saying, okay, we got a quarterback that we can build around. Yeah. I think they're a little anxious to get that out of the way. at least.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that they will take Desmond Ridder, to be honest with you. I think that they will find a way to get him. I don't know how it's going to happen, but
I don't think they move for Willis. If Willis so happens to be there at 8, I think it's a considerable chance that they pull the trigger on him. If not, I think Ridder is really in the play at 43.
Yeah. I think they would love Ridder to be there at 43. I don't know if they'll wait. I don't know if they'll wait for him. Because I think there's a pretty good chance he goes between the end of the first round and 43. Now it depends on what those other teams do, with those picks, but we'll see. That if the price to move up for Ridder is just like a third round pick, to go from 43 to 31, if all it takes is 82, they might do it. I also could see them trading down to like 15 or whatever and taking Ridder there. I know that would piss off a lot of people. I'm not saying that's necessarily what I would do, but opinions on this quarterback class are all over the place. Like, Derek Klassen, a guy I really respect in terms of his quarterback analysis because he knows a hell of a lot more about quarterbacks than I do. He has Desmond Ridder QB1 like that, and that doesn't shock me. So, and he thinks Desmond Ridder's the best quarterback, and the one that's going to have the most early success too, which is I think quite a controversial take. Considering Kenny Pickett's here, and he doesn't like Kenny Pickett, so it's like it's just an example of that.
It is a safe pick at quarterback, in my opinion. Like he doesn't wow you in many factors, to be honest with you. But the fact that he started for 4 years in Cincinnati, he won a lot of games. There's plenty of experience there. He's a quarterback that you can. I wouldn't mind landing on if the value is right, because I know I have a guy that he's probably going to need a little bit more polish, but man, I don't have to worry about the decision making aspect from him as I do with Malik Willis. Like there's just certain things he does solid enough for me to say, okay, we can give him the ball for the next 10 years and let him do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he fits to a T sort of what they want. Like they don't necessarily. Obviously, it would be nice to get a Willis in here that has this possibility of turning into this like top 5 quarterback. But like I think if you get Ridder in here and he's like a 15 to like somewhere in the 8 to 15 range, that should be good enough for you to compete. So I think that's what they're hoping they can get with him. And if all it costs you is like pick 15 or pick 31 and pick 82 or whatever, that's a lot easier to swallow than whatever it's going to take to get. I know people like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and all this. Like, unless the Falcons are picking in the top 3, they're not going to have a chance at either one of those guys. You're telling me that these like elite generational quote unquote quarterback prospects are making it out of the top 3? They're not, because guess what? They didn't make it out of the top 3 last year.
That's 2 quarterbacks that people name off of. How many teams need quarterbacks every year? You see 3 or 4 teams need a quarterback every single year, just about.
Yeah. So like maybe Jacksonville is willing to trade out if they're in the top 3 again, but like Houston's not, the Lions aren't. So like if it's Detroit and Houston at 1 and 2, you've got no chance because they're not passing on those quarterbacks. So like even if you were trying to do this crazy trade into the top couple of picks, like
Seattle's got 2 first-round picks, and they can out-trade you. Seattle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a team I would keep an eye on. I think they might actually pull the trigger and hop Atlanta for a guy like Malik Willis, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I don't think the Falcons would be super upset about that either, to be honest. But, the Falcons are certainly doing their best to make it seem like they like every single quarterback prospect because they've basically sent out the brass to like every quarterback pro day. I think their legitimate interest is in Willis and Ridder. Probably, maybe even Ridder more than Willis, to be honest, based on what I've sort of observed. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
The entire damn team to Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then they left except for Michael Petrie, who like stayed to work with Jerome Ford. So keep an eye on Jerome Ford, guys. But like everybody else left after Ridder finished throwing, and just Michael Petrie stayed to work with Jerome Ford. So it's like they weren't even trying to pretend, But again, it's like if they really want Ridder, like. If they really love Ridder and he's their quarterback 1, they won't have a problem getting him at 8. So they don't really need to like hide their love for him. If they love Willis, they might need to hide that. But
pulling the trigger on Ridder at 8, man.
That would be just the most chaotic, like hate-inducing move that we've seen in recent memory, and I think it would be pretty funny, to be honest. But I'm going to tell you right now, I will not be shocked if they do. I won't love it, but if he's who they want at quarterback,
if he's their guy,
are you going to be that surprised if they take him at 8? I mean, like, opinions on this class are all over the place, especially like, and if they take Ritter at 8 above Willis, I would be like, okay, that's maybe a little sketchy. If Willis goes and they take Ritter as quarterback too, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But don't be shocked if it happens. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. So, and then it'll be just like Matt Ryan and Glenn Dorsey, right? They'll be like, oh, you shouldn't take this guy. And then he ends up being the franchise quarterback for like 15 years. So,
yeah, because who wanted Glenn Dorsey?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Dave Choate, by the way. Yeah. But, yeah, guys, well, quickly before we sign off, Kyle Hamilton, no, it does not matter that he only ran a 4.59 official time. Like, I don't give a shit what he ran at his pro day. He ran a laser timed 4.59.
UDFA 4.95 actually.
Yeah, exactly. Good point, Adnan. But,
UDFA.
Like, I guess maybe we need to spend 5 minutes to really school people on why Kyle Hamilton is worth a high pick. I feel like people don't get it.
I'm done.
Yeah. I mean,
if people are worried about the numbers, right? Think about Keanu Neal. He ran like a 4.6, right? Did anybody ever be like, man, that Keanu Neal guy is really slow?
That dude's slow.
He can't do the thing that he needs to do.
But he clocked the faster official time at the combine.
And so, like, you look at the jumps, right? Like,
right.
Keanu was like elite in terms of his jumps. Kyle Hamilton elite in terms of his jumps. Like, if you're asking Kyle Hamilton to play single high and have to, cover, 40, 50 yards over the field, okay, then yeah, maybe his speed is not good enough to do that. But like, if you're asking him to do that all the time, that you're misutilizing him, right? Like,
you are, yeah.
His skill set is his versatility. He can play deep, but primarily, you want him playing split safety stuff, which we know Dean Peets wants to run. You want him coming downhill, crashing that stuff. So like, him running a 4.59, a 4.87, or whatever Adnan's got out there on his sources, or a 4.43 doesn't really matter given how you're going to utilize him, because he has the explosiveness to be able to cover ground quickly and jump those underneath routes and jump all those throws that we've seen him do highlights. So if anybody's worried about Kyle Hamilton and his speed, yeah, I guess when we play the Dolphins in 2 years, you don't want him matched up on Tyreek Hill, but like, who else, you don't want anybody matched up on Tyreek Hill.
Want to match up against Gesicki. I definitely want to match up against
yeah. So like, I think the speed stuff, if people are going to make a big deal about that like, to me, it feels like
we can always match up Kendall Sheffield on Tyreek Hill in a couple
Kalen Barnes.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, you remember? Look, case in point about speed and safety. Desmond Southward. Okay, mic drop. Yeah.
He ran a 4.58 at the combine, and it wasn't even a straight line 4.58. He was kind of all over the place a little bit with it. So even in a straight line manner, that probably would have been a low 4.5, which I'm taking.
That's totally fine when you're 6'4", 220.
6'4", 220, and you have NFL scouts, GMs, coaches, they're all clocking him. That was his official combine time. I'm taking that. I don't really care. The pro day time.
I don't care about hand times. Yeah.
Like I said, if he had bad jumps, it would be a concern, right?
Right.
Because you'd be like, maybe he's not as explosive as we thought he was, but like his jumps are like elite, aren't they? Like they're like 90th.
His jump was 131. His vertical jump was 38, and he had a 6.9 in the 3 cone.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not worried about it. It's like
I'm fine. I'm fine with those.
So what would you say to people that I'm getting this a lot, and people saying like, oh, well, he's just Isaiah Simmons, and look, Isaiah Simmons hasn't been that good. Well, first of all,
not Isaiah Simmons.
Kyle Hamilton's tape is pretty different than Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons played a lot more linebacker. Kyle Hamilton's played pretty much entirely safety. Second of all, don't blame Isaiah Simmons for the Cardinals just being like, Simmons, you're going to play like Mike linebacker, and that's it. We're not going to move you around. We're not going to do anything. We're going to make you play linebacker every single snap. And, like, guess what? That's not a great role for a guy whose entire calling card was that he was this matchup eraser. So yeah, if you're gonna just make Kyle Hamilton play, stack linebacker or something, or make him play single high every snap, then you shouldn't draft Kyle Hamilton in the top 10. If you're gonna, yeah, go ahead.
You're not recognizing the value, like Aaron
No.
said. His value is the fact that he is arguably the most versatile player in the draft here, and he's able to do many things for your defense. So I'm not worried about it. There's not many times he's going to be running a straight line 40 anyway. The guy is a pure athlete, and he's one of the best players in the draft. And if he falls to 8 and Atlanta takes him, I will be ecstatic.
Yes, we all would. It's all about instincts at safety. I could care less if you run a 4.59. If you have great instincts, that's going to matter a lot more. If you don't have great instincts, then yeah, you might need that 4.4 to be able to make up the ground that you lost when you didn't predict where the play was going. But if you're in the right place at the right time, you don't need to be 4.3 speed to make the play. It's more important to be in the right place. And when you're 6'4", guess what? You got those long ass arms. You can make a lot of plays. And he did constantly. So, color me not at all concerned that Kyle Hamilton is just a 92 percentile athlete and not like a 99th percentile athlete. I think he'll be just fine. But he's not a top 7 player. Okay. Top 8, we can have the conversation. Top 7, he's out. So, all right.
UDFA.
Yeah, exactly. George Costanza had a donation I wanted to make sure we got to before we get out of here. George says, just want to point out you guys did a bunch of mocks last season. Never did you take Kyle Pitts with the 4th pick. He felt disrespected by that. So he said, I need you guys to take Davis in at least one of these mocks just to humor me.
Oh, Davis is his guy this year?
Yeah, Jordan Davis is his guy. So we got to take that seriously now. So.
If it was someone else, then it's like, oh, okay. But George Costanza has some actual pull when it comes to this.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he had Kyle Pitts from like August or something. Like, it was very early.
Are we fine with Davis at 8?
I would be okay with it. I mean, it would
I'd
be a
big fan of trading back and getting Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
Trading back, yeah. But at 8?
Davis is a champion.
Oh, God.
Sick 'em dogs. Woof,
He's
woof,
a
woof.
national champion.
So is Stetson Bennett, but I don't see anyone.
He's going to be our QB1 next year.
Are people serious when they tweet that, or are they joking? Because I've gotten a lot of tweets like,
we'll
just take Stetson Bennett next year.
We're going to get the 3rd round. We're going to get 3rd overall pick, right? Stroud's going to go 1. Bryce Young's going to go 2. And Stetson Bennett's going 3.
Stetson Bennett will be right there. He'll be right there for us.
Guess who beat Bryce Young in the Natty?
Hey, Stetson Bennett.
He's a winner.
There you go. He's a winner. Just
champion.
a pure winner. Just like AJ McCarron. Unfortunately, if he hadn't gotten hurt, I'm sure he would have displaced Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan never won a national championship. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, like and subscribe if you don't mind. Join us for our patron Q&A. It's going to be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. If you're not already a patron, you can sign up anytime before 6. Patreon.com/Falcoholic Live. Before we take off tonight, want to thank my co-hosts this evening. First of all, we have Eric Robinson. He's at _Eric_Robinson. Eric, anything you're working on you'd like to plug?
Draft stuff.
That's
all I'm working on. I'm churning out film, man.
Yep. Just working on those cut-ups all day. They just got you in there.
This man, I didn't think it was gonna be like this, man.
Just constant cut-ups.
There's so many prospects.
Yep. So many.
It's like almost 600 prospects, man.
Wow. Man, they're really thorough then. 600, jeez.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
How do they get this film from like this 600th guy?
No, I mean you have game highlight or game melts and stuff from all your FBS guys, but for mainly like your independents, FCS guys, you actually have to reach out to the SIDs and get them to provide game tape.
That's crazy. Well, I'm sure they're like happy to provide it for ESPN. So
some are, yeah.
All right.
Some will give you like 3 years worth of shit, and I'm like, I don't need this.
I just need like the best game. That's fine. Yeah. Well, definitely cool. We'll be looking forward to all that stuff on the live broadcast. I'm sure they'll use some of your cut-ups if you're making like 600. So.
Yeah. I know I had Kyron Williams, D'Angelo Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of those guys. Bailey Zappa.
Yeah, they'll definitely.
Travis Jones was another
Yep,
guy
yep.
too. So.
Yep, they'll definitely get used.
Yep.
Also with us, Adnan Ikic at Say Which Way. Adnan, anything you're working on you'd like to let the people know about?
No, not real. We're covering free agency at the Falcoholic, and we'll be covering the draft. And yeah, it's the off season.
Yeah. Yep. Off season in full swing. Also with us tonight, Aaron Freeman. He's at Falc Fans, host of the Locked On Falcons podcast, available on your favorite podcast platforms. Also on YouTube, apparently, debuting at the same exact time as this program. So, maybe the timing we might need to work on a little bit. But Aaron, anything else you want to plug before you sign off?
I'm trying to see how long I can continue to get paid by the Falcoholic without actually writing anything.
Yeah.
So that's been my off-season plan. But yeah, put up Locked On Falcons with Will McFadden talking about, Arthur Blank's Deshaun Watson comments, whether or not Grady Jarrett's going to get extended, Will's thoughts on the offseason. And, I knew we were going to go along with this mock draft. So go check out that after you watch this episode. So, Locked On Falcons for that.
Yes, that's the second watch of the night, after Falcoholic Live.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, guys. I'm Kevin Knight at Falcoholic Kevin. I have scouting reports coming out all week. Today, I think, was Majai Sanders. Yesterday was Arnold Ebiketie. Tomorrow will be Devin Lloyd, the linebacker from Utah, so you can look for that. Also, we'll have I'm going to do a couple more linebackers. Then we're going to have some running back ones coming out, so stay tuned for that. Try to get to a few more edge guys, too. But yeah, keep it just tuned to thefalcoholic.com for all that good stuff. I'll have my interview with UTSA edge Charles Wiley. That'll be coming out Monday here on the channel. So you can look for that as well. He was a cool guy. Appreciate him taking the time to talk to me. And should have another interview coming out with a hometown friend of mine talking about a local prospect that the Falcons might be interested in. So I'll have that coming out for you maybe sometime next week as well. But until next time, guys, we'll be back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. as always. Until then, guys, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we will talk to you next time on the Falcoholic Live. See you guys.